So I'm taking a little bit more weight to her legs, right? I didn't look even on her arms yet, but at first I want to take her a little bit in this direction, okay? Take a break.
Can I ask you another question too? Are your hamstrings really tight? Do you feel really tight in the backs of your legs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see like like when you look at this pose too, you have to think to yourself, well, what's causing that? Like what's creating all of the work to be occurring in the front of her body? And that's why I'm asking her this question, because it appears to me, right, that the back, like she's not straightening her legs totally too. Can you see that? Like her legs aren't totally straight in the pose. And so what appears that's occurring is that tightness in the backs of her legs. And so she's going to compensate for that and throw all of her weight forward. Does everybody get that?
That's when I can't go even in a handstand, even though my hands are really, really strong. But I can't get up because of my legs.
Because of your legs, the tight, yeah. So there's a few different pieces to this that's occurring for her. Okay, is the limitation that she has in the tightness in the backs of her legs, and then also there's a rotational thing that's happening in her arms that's not that also I think is limiting her like a little bit. So we kind of have to go through step by step, and just to kind of break this down so you all can see as well. So.
But her heels were almost flat.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is that her heels being flat on the floor doesn't have anything to do with her hamstrings per se. It just has to do with like how much dorsiflexion she has in her ankle, and actually how long her like Achilles tendon is, how much flexibility she has here. It's nothing to do with her
And I
hamstrings.
always thought that's why I couldn't get back, because my hamstrings.
No, because I bet. Can you squat for me? Can you come into a squat? She'll get her heels down and squat. Okay? So it has nothing to do with her hamstrings. She's got long Achilles. It has everything to do with how much she can flex her ankle and how long this is. So it has nothing to do with her hamstrings. So it's interesting because we put those together somehow, but one doesn't really have to do the other. So somebody might be able to get their heels down but still have tight hamstrings.
I could get my heels down actually from the first down though.
Right.
But I never did that because I know I have to work that part of my body.
Yeah, but also let me just say, like on the flip side of that, someone might have really long open hamstrings and can't get their heels down.
Because of their ankle.
Because of their ankle flexibility or how long the Achilles tendon is in the calf, okay? So there are so many different pieces to this, okay? So let's address one part at a time. So like, do you want to address the arm first or the leg first?
Oh, well, the legs, I just want to say that she was not using her legs at all. That's why, I kind of took her back just to show you guys that, the everything was forward. She didn't use her legs. That was the problem. So come from the front. Come from the front so you can see it.
Part of the reason why she's not using her legs too is that with her heels down, she can't.
So walk your feet a little bit wider. This is hip distance apart, but for her, because tight hamstrings, walking the feet a little bit wider, that's going to give her a little bit more space. How's that feel? Is it a little bit already on your legs better? Okay. It's okay that you have that answer. So come forward to plank pose. Okay. And now fully straight your arms and start to rotate your biceps forward. And press at the same time. You can also turn your palms a little bit wider. So think about moving your the index fingers parallel. That's already give her. If she's gonna turn her palms like that, and then she's gonna try to extend or rotate the arms, it's just not gonna happen. The palm's gonna keep it. So keeping the palms like that was already gonna help. So now turn your biceps forward. Now go to down dog, but keep your arms like that. Oh, she already lost that, right? So now we go slow down. First of all, slow down.
Because you have to see this. This is really important. I'm just going to pull your shirt a little bit. Okay, so what Caroline is asking her to do is rotate her biceps forward.
Now slow down.
Now watch.
So fast.
Yeah,
right?
when she goes back,
keep this.
That's going to be really, really hard to maintain. Keep going. Lift your hips up. Lift your hips up. Lift your hips up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And watch what happens. You see how that? Yeah. It's Yeah.
There you go.
It's really, really hard. Okay? Come on down, come relax. Most of you are doing that. Almost all of you are doing that. because you're going back so fast in a downward facing dog. So you start, right, how we start in child's pose, one of the reasons why we start in child's pose too is not so much the distance factor, that is part of it, like to get the proper distance between the hands and the feet. But to teach what the arms need to do prior to going into downward facing dog. Because it's much easier to teach her what that action of the arms is here, because she's not weight bearing, than it is once she gets into downward facing dog. Once she's there, there's not a lot I can do.
That's your tendency in down dog. So
Okay.
now in child pose, practice this because it's easier here.
Right, so relax your head, right? So external rotation of the upper arms and press down through the index and the thumb. That's a counter action of the arms in down dog. That is an action. That is an action. Externally rotate the upper arms, press down through the index and the thumb. What's another way that you can say that?
Roll your
Your outer arms.
Roll your inner arms out, or spin your biceps up towards the ceiling, or broaden your shoulders. There are multiple ways. You have to give an instruction and then see what the person does, and if it doesn't translate, figure out a different way to say it.
So come on in.
Yeah?
Come to plank pose first. Alright, so let's turn. So think about moving the outer armpits to your inner armpits. So let's press here. And now slow down to counter. Sort of just, they're not even. Just kind of
Yeah.
forward. Just now start to rotate. Moving the biceps to me doesn't work for me and triceps back. Think about moving your armpits, outer armpits to your inner armpits. And keep that and slowly push the thighs back to come to down. That's already better. She's really working hard here. So turn from the base of the arm. Good. So one arm is stronger, one is more tighter and a little bit lazy. You can see which one. And we all also have that. Relax your head. Now, keep that action in your arms, but now firm your thighs and push your thighs back. So from your hands, take the weight towards your legs.
Push away from your hands.
Yeah. Whoop, you're losing. So
Yeah,
it's going to
yeah,
be, okay, knees down to the floor. It's going to be like that balance. How much you can still turn your arms, but when you're going to push your legs too much, that you're going to lose this. So how much you can still turn your arms, but at the same time pull your legs back, because when I asked her push your thighs back, she lost it. So this is like a balance between, it's like a game. It's going to be always forward a little bit back, forward a little bit back until you find that center. And the center is going to be always, every day different. Every
Shouldn't she
Let me
have also been lifting the arms? Like, I felt like her
The
arms were
yeah.
like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
part of it, I think part of it too.
more.
Let me see bring your arms forward. Yeah,
Has a little
she
bit
has a little
extension.
bit of a carrying
Carrying
angle.
her.
Do you see this? Okay, so oftentimes with it, so that's a carrying angle. Do you see that?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
called a carrying.
I
So
think I have that.
yes, yeah. So with a carrying angle, okay. So listen to this because this is really important. With a carrying angle, often comes hyperextension of the elbow. Okay.
This is something that you're not going to...
And so, Rachel, so listen carefully, everybody. Just listen. When you have this carrying ankle and you have often hyperextension with that, when she comes into a pose like that, it's actually going to look like her elbows are bent, but they're not. Okay, they're going to look a little. It's an illusion to your eye. Actually, they're going to look a little bent. This is why. She's also compensating a little bit, okay, because she doesn't have the strength of these muscles yet, okay, here, the biceps and the triceps and she can turn her arm and, she's doing more from the elbow than what she should be doing. But just so that you can start to kind of, Chrissy's going to talk more about this too, but I knew that because I just saw, because it wasn't that her arms weren't straight. It was she wasn't getting that external rotation, and then also because of that carrying angle, it was appearing like if you look at my arms, like they just like will look straight because I don't have that. It's pretty even, like on both sides. But somebody that has a big carrying angle, it's going to look like their arm is slightly bent. It's just how it is.
So come on.
Okay.
When you said internally rotate your forearms,
Also, you
helps
have
me
to
out.
firm
I've
the
never heard
muscles.
of that
So press
before.
towards my hands.
To get that kind of action.
This is
Yes.
when your
So
arms
I
are
didn't
actually
have that
balanced.
when you work
Now keep
here,
your
it's
push
done
to my hands.
rotating.
And I'll slowly
Yes.
lift you down.
Yeah.
So you're pushing to my hands to firm the muscles around the balls. because you were just holding your structure, your arms on the bones. Right now, you're actually using your muscle.
Looks like there's so much tension in her shoulder.
Well, there is right now. There is, because she's still not using her legs.
Still working.
So bend your knees for me, honey. Yeah, and lift your hips. Yeah, so you can take that out of the equation a little bit. Keep your knees bent. Walk your feet in a little closer. Lift your heels. Lift your heels. Bend your knees. Good. Now work with your arms.
She looks more even.
Yeah, it's over. It's already better. I'm going to come on down for a second. I want to I want to demonstrate something that I see happening. Come on down. Okay. Because, stay here. Don't run away though. That was great. You're doing such great work. Okay. But with tight hamstrings, muscles, tight gluteal muscles, and sometimes tight in the back as well. So she's trying from her shoulders to move back into her legs. I don't know if you can see that, because Carolina's working so hard with her, like what she did right now by putting her hands there to stabilize her arms and her shoulders so she doesn't move. I'm going to show you what's happening so that you can see this in my body a little bit, okay? So watch everybody. This is the difference, okay, is that when you're this is what a lot of people do in downward facing dog, is you start to go back, especially if the hamstrings or the back legs and hamstrings are tight, the buttock is tight, is that now what I'm going to do is in an effort to get more length out of my spine and go back into my legs, I'm going to push in my shoulders. Do you see what's happening? And as I push in my shoulders, my arm rolls in, and now I have an impingement here. Now I get pinching here, and that's what happens. A lot of people in down dog is they get this impingement here in the front of the shoulder. So what you need to really concentrate on, this is why she was going slow with you, is that once you have that external rotation of your arms, okay, you're pressing down through your index and your thumb. As you go back, you have to work really hard to sustain that, okay? Now where I'm going to get the length is from my waist.